بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. اللهم تقبل منا وتب علينا يا أرحم الراحمين. اللهم أعنا على ذكرك وشكرك وحسن عبادتك، ولا تجعلنا يا مولانا من الغافلين عن ذكرك ولا عن طاعتك، وتب علينا واغفر لنا وارحمنا يا أكرم الأكرمين. فقه المعاملات, believe it or not, especially with the scholars that we have today, that they made it as a subject, they teach it in universities. Fiqh al-Mu'amalat is a subject that the small book of it is about 600 pages. Fiqh al-Mu'amalat will include in it everything you can imagine. Okay, I'm going to start from the end. I'm just going to give you an idea. What is fiqh al-Mu'amalat? Fiqh al-Mu'amalat, how to get married, how to get divorced, how to get, all the problem with marriage, how to raise your children. This is one. The second one is fiqh al-Mu'amalat is how to buy, how to sell, how to rent, how to cultivate land, how to make farming, all of this. This is number 2 in fiqh al-Mu'amalat. Number 3 is if you give somebody a trust, if you appoint somebody to take care of your housing, if you take care of your factory or anybody, they call it hawala, kafala, daman. Hawala, kafala, daman. Somebody needs to get a loan and you need to go sponsor him, kafala. You need to transfer money to somebody. You need to say, do this, and ana damin, and I am. So this is it. And then buying and selling and renting, leasing, anything, this is part of it. Court system, juristic system, all of it. The judge, the lawyer, the appointee, the trustee, the witnesses, the testimony, all of this are in it. And also, when the judge give an order, for that order to be executed, whatever kind of execution, that's part of fiqh al-mu'amalat. Also, when somebody steal or rape or put his hand on a land or on a house, on money or anything like that, they call it al-ghasb, they call it al-hiyaza. All of these are part of it. Any violation of the Islamic law, fornication, adultery, stealing, physical attack, anything of that, it will be part of it. Also, we have, if anybody, including parents or anybody else, gave somebody children or non-children, they gave them waqf, hiba, ata, wasiya, all of these are part of fiqh al-mu'amalat. And then inheritance, all kind of it, to all kind of people, which is by itself, it's a big subject in Islam. It's called ilm al-fara'id. Ilm al-fara'id, it means, it is not to make salah. Ilm al-fara'id means ilm al-mawarith, the inheritance laws, who should get what, and this is all part of fiqh al-mu'amalat. And also, if somebody made an oath, how to forgive this oath, they call it kafarat, or how to fulfill it, and all of this. This is part of it. Somebody told his wife, you are like my mother. What does he do? This is part of fiqh al-mu'amalat. So anyway, fiqh al-mu'amalat contains all of the sharia, you could say. Okay? So it's a big subject. That's why when you told me about fiqh al-mu'amalat, I'm thinking is that the people who ask for fiqh mu'amalat, what do they want? This is the session on Sunday. It was not, I don't think, it was established for me to take a subject that it will be studied. People can study it for 4 years. You know, if they are lawyers, people can study it for 2-3 years if they are accountant. People can study it for 2-3 years if they were going to be major in heirs and inheritance and something like that. So really it boggles my mind to understand that the people who requested fiqh al-mu'amalat, what do they really want? Whether they know what they want or just a topic came back on their mind, let's do it, you know. Usually people in sessions like this session on Sunday, which we need to cover it like for an hour and a half, or for 2 weeks, could be 3 hours, they have specific item from all of this big fiqh al-mu'amala. They have very specific title, you know, and they ask to talk about it, then we can cover it within a session or two, you know. But fiqh al-mu'amalat require 4 years study. It requires somebody more knowledgeable than me to be, you know, that will be his specialty to go and discuss it. Since it has been asked and since you have come, Jazakumullah khair, I'm going to go back and I'm not going to talk to you about if you pick up a book in fiqh al-mu'amalat today from scholar or a teacher in universities or somebody, how they're going to do it. I'm going to go back over 1,000 years and to talk to you about fiqh al-mu'amalat, how they made it and how they introduce it. They call it as muqaddimah, introduction to fiqh al-mu'amalat. This is, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help me to cover that particular portion of it today. It's going to be very brief. Earlier, like about 1,000 years ago, when you asked a scholar about, you know, fiqh al-mu'amalat, you said al-mu'amalat the origination of the word amila. Okay? So amila, ya'malu mu'amala. And he said, the purpose of your life, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have made it in the Quran. تبارك الذي بيده الملك وهو على كل شيء قدير الذي خلق الموت والحياة ليبلوكم أيكم أحسن عملا. So which one of you will do better? It is very important note by the scholar here. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said أحسن عملا. Qualitative work. It is not quantitative work. It is not أكثر عملا. It is أحسن عملا. You could pray 2 rak'ah. You are focused. You recite the small surah, but you are focused with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, full-heartedly, thinking about what you're reciting, hoping that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive you. You concentrate from the beginning to the salah till the end of the salah. This will be better than 100 rak'ah somebody else might do without being in focus, without reflecting on what he is reciting, you know, just doing physical movement. Okay? So, أحسن عملا, qualitative work, it is not quantitative work. Okay? So then he said عملا. طيب. The second question said, the scholar said أحسن عملا. أحسن عملا with who? When you make amal with who? There are 3 categories. The scholar have said that you could make amal within those 3 categories. Category number 1, you make amal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The second category, you make amal with yourself. The third category, you make amal with people. Okay? The amal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, take category number 1. What's in it? What's under it? What do we need to understand? What is the amal of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? the amal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for you to have the correct aqidah, for you to have the correct understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and for you to do the proper ibadah. You have the proper understanding, you know who He is subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know what your duties are. So the first amal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is to think, to reflect, to imagine, to assimilate the tawheed in your mind. This is the amal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Amal fikri, for you to have the proper ibadah and to assimilate this aqidah into your mind, into your heart, and then into your action by having the proper ibadah. When you pray for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is mu'amala ma Allah. Okay? The benefit for you, no matter what you do with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you're not gonna give Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala any benefit, you're not gonna harm Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, no matter what you do. Ya ibadi, in the hadith Qudsi, لو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم قاموا على صعيد واحد فعبدوني على أتقى قلب رجل منكم ما زاد في ملكي شيئا ولو أن أولكم وآخركم وإنسكم وجنكم كانوا على أشقى قلب رجل منكم ما نقص من ملكي شيئا. So even though we said mu'amala, dealing with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the benefit and the result of that ibadah is on you. You pray good, you're the beneficiary. You don't pray good, you're not the beneficiary. You are the one who are going to have the problem. Okay? You pay zakah, you be good. Anyway, whatever you do, it is you. It is up to you. Whatever you do, like when our mashayikh rahimahumullah used to say, he said, whatever you do in this life, like you're throwing seeds in land, on the land. Those seeds are going to harvest. And you're going to reap it up. You're going to pick it up. So seed whatever you want. Put in the land, in this farming land, put whatever you want. You're the one who's going to harvest that. You're the one, nobody else. So if you plant good, you have fruit and vegetable. You plant bad, you will have thorn and bad stuff, which is going to be coming back to you. So anyway, al-mu'amala ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, number one, reflects the proper aqidah and the proper understanding of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the way it's supposed to be. And then the scholars said, if this is no good, you have no good deed, period. Not with yourself, not with people. So this is the essential. You have to have the proper aqidah. You have to have the proper understanding. You have to have the proper thinking of Allah, and you have, to put things in the right way with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have taught us, and according to what the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam have taught us. That's it. So, after the aqidah, we said we have to have the proper ibadah. So we need to make an ibadah. What is the ibadah? The ibadah is whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have ordered us throughout the rules and regulations that came in the Quran, and it came by the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. You have to do that. Ibadah, another thing is you cannot increase in ibadah. You cannot. You cannot add an ibadah. You cannot fabricate an ibadah. And that's why here we have the rule said, al-ibadatu tawqifiyya. Tawqifiyya means, al-ibadah, it must be assigned by Allah and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. That's what it means. Al-ibadah tawqifiyya means it must be assigned. You cannot generate an ibadah. You cannot think of something good and then you go ahead and do it. And you said this is ibadah. You cannot. Ibadah, it has to be designed, it has to be articulated by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This is mu'amala ma Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You do what He ordered you to do. The second part of muamala, the way you deal, is muamala مع نفسك, with your soul, with your body. Okay? So that's why if we go back to the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, وَمَا ظَلَمْنَاهُمْ وَلَكِنْ كَانُوا أَنفُسَهُمْ يَظْلِمُونَ. We did not cheat them. We did not have any transgression to them. We were not unfair to them. They were unfair to themselves. They have done themselves unjust. Okay, so what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is directing our vision is that you are doing unjust to yourself. So this is under that, the earlier scholar of Islam, they took that as muamala with yourself. When you lie, you're doing yourself unjust. When you cheat somebody, you're doing yourself unjust. Okay? When you do something wrong, illegal, whatever that is, you're doing yourself unjust. Okay? So then you have to pay for it. Okay? When you do unjust to yourself, you have to pay for it. You have to pay for it. If you do not repent in this dunya, if you do not make istighfar, if you don't stop it, if you do not correct your way, you have to pay for it somehow later. You may pay for it in the dunya, you may pay for it in the grave, you may pay for it in the mahshar, you may pay for it in hellfire. Whatever you do wrong, it's a debt on you. You have to fulfill that debt. And there are so many channels you can fulfill the debt. You have so many channels. It's the mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He made the door open for us until the soul gets to the throat. حتى نغرغر. Okay? Or the shams comes from the, which we're not gonna, inshallah, we're not gonna face. So He left the door open for you to settle your debt, to settle for your mistake. But what you do is yourself. Okay? The third one, which is nowadays, all the scholars are concentrating about fiqh al-mu'amalat on the third part, is when you are dealing with people, whoever those people are. Whether you're going to get married, you're going to get divorced, you're going to buy, sell, you're going to hire somebody to work for you, you're going to buy stock, you're going to buy commodity, you're going to farm land, whatever you do. So al-mu'amalat, fiqh al-mu'amalat is dealing, now the third part, is dealing with others regardless of who those others are. Okay? So this is it. Now, all of these mu'amalat, whether it is with Allah, whether it's yourself, and whether it is with people, there are guidelines. There are guidelines that they govern all of them. With Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the ibadat, with the religion, one of those major rules, I'm not going to go all over the rules, but I'm going to give you one at a time from them. But for example, وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. You see, your knowledge, your ibadah, whatever you do, it is under the rule that is you do what within your ability to do. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ. That's number one. Another one, number two, is يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will never impose on you in any part of those three channels, will not impose on you something you cannot bear. وَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ مَا اسْتَطَعْتُمْ يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ بِكُمُ الْيُسْرَ وَلَا يُرِيدُ بِكُمُ الْعُسْرَ مَا جَعَلَ عَلَيْكُمْ فِي الدِّينِ مِنْ حَرَجٍ مِلَّةَ أَبِيكُمْ إِبْرَاهِيمَ. So those are the rules. Also, there are another major rule is that لا ضرر ولا ضرار. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will not impose else anything that will cause harm to you or to the others. That means all the parts of the Sharia are beneficial. None of the parts of the Sharia will do harm. Somebody might say, well, ya akhi, when a thief steals and we cut his hand, how could you say cutting his hand will be beneficial? It is beneficial. It is beneficial to the society. It's a reprimand to him. It's a reprimand for the others. We sacrifice with the hand in order for us to save thousands upon thousands of hands, you know? And the same thing when we do killing, when we do this, we do that. All the parts of the Sharia are beneficial to the whole entire community, because the Sharia came for all the people, not for one individual. It is for one individual, but the design is for the whole entire society. وَمَا أَرْسَلْنَاكَ إِلَّا رَحْمَةً لِلْعَالَمِينَ. So you can take it on a general term, okay? So surely the person who we put that on, you know, we cut his hand, he might say that, you know, I became handicapped. Okay, you became handicapped and stop, but maybe that will make you better for the rest of your life. It will straighten you out and so on. So it will still be beneficial to you. And then also, by doing that, you had paid the debt that is on you. Yani, your sin will be forgiven, inshallah, if you repent and you have a sincere heart. Okay. And also, part of dealing with people, and then the scholar have used the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ, قُلْ إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. Now, this hadith, even though it is simple, but people interpret it not complete. What does it mean, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ? I was sent to perfect the moral value. How to perfect the moral value? First of all, you perfected it by making it sincere to Allah. Because now, if you are saying the truth, and then the kuffar before Islam, they were saying the truth. You were generous and they were generous. They were doing it for their reputation. They were doing it to save the name of the tribe. They were doing it to get exalted, you know, or to have honor, or to have good reputation. We do it as a Muslim because we need the satisfaction of Allah. We need the acceptance of Allah. We do it for the sake of Allah. So even though the act is the same, I am good, I am paying money, I am feeding the hungry, whether I am a Muslim or non-Muslim, but the non-Muslim is doing it for somebody, for something else, not for Allah. We made it perfect, this is the hadith, when we made that action for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, to please Allah, to obey the rules and regulations of Allah, to obey the commandments of Allah. So this is the hadith said, إِنَّمَا بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ تَتْمِيمُهَا بأن نجعلها خالصة لله سبحانه وتعالى. تمام? And also, there's another part of it. بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ. A Muslim, when he does something out of the good, any kind of good, he is doing it for the cause of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He will not do something to harm that goodness. Meaning, like, if I lend somebody money as a Muslim, I'm lending him money for the sake of Allah. But then I will not do any harm after I lend him the money. What kind of harm? الذين آمنوا ولا يتبعون ما أنفقوا منا ولا أذى. So the non-Muslim, he can lend the money, but he can go and brag about it, you know, that I gave him, I did this, I did this, I did this, I did this. The Muslim, he's doing it sincerely for Allah, and then on top of that, That's why بُعِثْتُ لِأُتَمِّمَ مَكَارِمَ الْأَخْلَاقِ, that I am not going to do any harm after I do the proper thing. And the harm, for example, is by speaking and, chastising this person or giving him minna, like I did you a favor, I did this, I did that. That's why in our community, when you ask somebody to do something and he refuses, and then all of a sudden what you do is you count all the benefit that you have done for him. I didn't do that to you, didn't I do that to you, didn't I do that to you? Man, ma fi khair, because if you were good, you could have appreciated what I have done. Now I asked you for this, you're not. That means you have not perfected makarim al-akhlaq. That means you have not done it for the sake of Allah. Yani حكلي لحكلة, scratch my back where I can scratch your back. That is not an Islamic issue. Okay? You are either dealing with people for people, or you are dealing with people for the sake of Allah. Somebody invites you to their house, and then they said, Wallahi, I went 20 kilometers to bring you all those grapes, to bring you all of this. Ya akhi, la تروح 20 kilometers, don't feed me, don't give me that minna, don't count that favor, forget it, you wiped it. And then somebody in Ramadan here, one of the brothers, out of good nature, he said yesterday, mashallah, I invited 10 people, mashallah, they ate everything. Ya akhi, mashallah, they did not leave anything on the table. I said, khalas, alhamdulillah, you're done. There's nothing. You don't take nothing with you. No, this is adab. Even though they have not heard you. But that means what you're saying, you're telling me, you're telling others, you did not do it for the sake of Allah. When you're doing it for the sake of Allah, you only hope for the benefit from Allah. You only hope for the recognition from Allah. And this is what they call it, حظ النفس, and then some of the scholars took the hadith that reported by Ibn Majah, where the Prophet ﷺ said, Allahumma slul sakhimata qulubina. Allahumma, say, Allahumma slul sakhimata qulubina. Some people understood, ana wallahu a'lam, I don't know. Sakhimata qulubina is the illness that we have in our heart. This illness could be hatred for somebody, could be counting favors for you on somebody else, or for haddul nafs, to do it for you to be complimented or to be, elevated or whatever. So this is it. So those are some of the rules. Okay. The other thing is, some people said there are a very major ayah in the Quran that it will look like it will cover all fiqh al-mu'amalat. It is one of the miracles of the Quran. One ayah in the Quran that will cover everything. Imagine one ayah will cover everything. It is the ayah of number 90 of Surah Al-Nahl. Ayah number 90 of Surah Al-Nahl. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, Inna Allah ya'muru bil-'adl wal-ihsan wa ita'i dhil qurba. So if you're looking about fiqh al-mu'amalat, all of it. What's fiqh al-mu'amalat? What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wants from you? And all the fiqh al-mu'amalat, dealing with your wife, dealing with your parents, dealing with the person who are buying, or dealing with the person that you are selling, dealing with the person that you are renting, or dealing with the person who you are borrow money from, or you're lending him money, or the person that you hire to work for you, or anything you do, giving nasiha, talking to somebody, making advice, reprimanding your son, teacher in school, whatever you do, doctors in the clinic and whatever. What do you need to do? Al-adl. Be fair. Be fair. Be fair not because it's a good business. Be fair not because it's profitable. Be fair, it is not for your reputation. Be fair because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala had ordered you to be fair. Al-adl. Because also the scholar said, you have to be fair because you, when people talk to you or deal with you, you like for them to be fair with you. And that's why the Prophet ﷺ said in the hadith reported by Musnad Imam Ahmad radiallahu anhu, when he was giving advice, he said, وَأْتِ النَّاسَ بِمَا تُحِبُّ أَنْ يُؤْتَى بِهِ إِلَيْكَ وَأْتِ النَّاسَ بِمَا تُحِبُّ أَنْ يُؤْتَى بِهِ إِلَيْكَ. You know, عامل الناس كما تحب أن يعاملوك. Deal with people in the way that you love them to deal with you. Okay? So, Al-Adl, we are asking you to make Adl, for you to make Adl to people, and for people to make Adl and be just also to you. So, but if you do not perform Adl, you cannot ask people to have, Adl or just to deal in just way with you. Okay? You are the first. You are the first. We cannot ask people to be fair and we're not fair. We have to be. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. And the scholar said, Al-Imam ibn Ashur rahimahullah, and this is the book of a tafsir, which is one of the best tafsir. You could put your hand on it right now. It's called At-Tahriru wa-Tanwiru Ibn Ashur radiallahu anhu. He died not too long ago. It is one of the best tafsir of the Quran. It's a collection of all the authentic understanding from the language and also from al-athar, from the narration that we have about al-Quran. At-Tahrir wa Tanwir Ibn Ashur. Ibn Ashur radiallahu anhu said, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in this ayah, He put the most important thing, al-adl, to be just, to be fair. Okay? That's why He ordered, number one, in Allah. Also the scholars said, it is part of al-adl, part of being fair and just. Remember, if we step a little bit back, we said that fiqh al-mu'amalat deal with three categories, right? Category number one with Allah, and with you, and with the people. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. It is the biggest fair and the biggest just you can do is for you to have a proper aqidah. It is unfair to have partners with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It is unfair to have lillahi and dada, rivals. It is unfair for you to have rivals with Allah. It is unfair to put somebody equal with Allah. It is unfair. You see, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told us in the beginning of An'am, وَالَّذِينَ هُمْ بِرَبِّهِمْ يَعْدِلُونَ. They make equality. God forbid. You cannot have partner. He cannot have equality. He cannot have andada. He cannot have rivals with him. Subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because this is the highest rank of being fair. Inna Allah ya'muru bil adl. He owns everything. He has everything. له ملكوت السماوات والأرض. And then it is unfair for you to put partners. It's unfair to put somebody equal to him. So إن الله يأمر بالعدل. This word, it contains a lot of things. It contains the aqidah, wheeling and dealing with people, being fair with yourself, because that's what you're going to get back. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان. So what is the difference between being fair and al-ihsan? A lot of the scholars said al-adl is just to be fair. Al-ihsan, for you to do an extra step. A lot of people gave so many examples, according to different scholars, they gave so many examples to that. Al-ihsan, to do a little bit extra, meaning being fair, But you could be fair and just fair, right? You could be fair and with a little bit more. Okay, here's a guy who works for you. At the end of the day, you have to pay him $100. Here's your money, $100. You're fair. That's what we agreed on with him. Okay? Al-Ihsan, here's $100. Thank you very much. You have done a wonderful job. Appreciate it. This extra. This is part of Al-Ihsan. They call it Ihsan. Okay? Al-Ihsan is just doing extra. It can be done in the positive. It could be done in the negative. How could it be done in the negative? Okay. Somebody made a mistake. Okay, I hired this guy to do this work. He did the work, but it's not so perfect. At the end of the day, I come to him and I said, okay, you were supposed to do this and this and that, but you did it, but you're not very good. You have made some mistake, you know? So rather than give you 100, I'm going to give you 90. Am I fair or not? I'm fair. But no ihsan. Okay? Al-ihsan to say, well, you didn't do it perfect, but I agreed with you on 100, and here's 100. So the extra 10 that you gave him, that's part of the ihsan. To some understand. So this is what they call ihsan in the positive way, and ihsan also in the negative way. Okay? Somebody made a mistake, and then the judge told him, you know, the law gave me a maximum of to put you in prison for 5 years. But you were a good nature, you were this, you were that, you do not have previous criminal record, you do. So I decided to lessen that to make it 3 years. This is the negative way. Some of the scholars took that is that he did with him in a fair way, but also he gave him ihsan. Wallahu subhanahu wa ta'ala a'lam. The scholar said this ihsan here is different than the ihsan that came in the hadith Jibreel alayhi salam. الإسلام والإيمان والإحسان أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فإن لم تكن تراه فإنه يراه. This is two different issue, the same meaning, two different understanding. So we back to the ayah 90 of Surah Al-Nahl. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان. Al-Ihsan, back to it, it has so many channels. As a matter of fact, some of the scholars, they took that ihsan and they elaborate on it so much. Like for example, in the ayah of the Quran that I do not memorize is وَإِذَا حَضَرَ الْقِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى وَالْيَتَامَى, you know, فَآتُوهُم مِّنْهُ whatever. Okay, so he said here, even though you're doing some kind of a division for money, for things, you know, and then some people outside, legally, they do not have the rights of this money. وَإِذَا حَضَرَ قِسْمَةَ أُولُو الْقُرْبَى, you know, فَآتُوهُم مِّنْهُ, give him some. Even though, give him some, okay? You're inviting somebody for dinner. We most of the time we do that. He said, "Akhi, only you and your wife," okay? And let's say that they are poor people. طيب يا أخي, what happened? Why don't you invite their children? You know, it's not right. So they said, ihsan. Ihsan is to do the extra, to walk the extra mile, do whatever you can do. Okay, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, will remember you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will grant that for you, will credit you for it. Al-ihsan. وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. إِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. إِيتَاء what? The sentence is not clear. وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. It's not clear to us, but it's clear to the scholar. It's clear to the people who they understand Arabic. إِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Give your qurba the right way in everything. Be good to them. It means be good to them. Give them love, give them compassion, give them help, give them whatever you can. And then he said, Dhil qurba. Who are Dhil qurba? Anybody who is Dhil qurba to you. Anybody blood related. Doesn't matter how far. Okay? It is not Dhil qurba only your parents, al-asl wal-fara'. No. Some people say, ita'at al-qurba, only my fathers and my parents and my brothers. No, it is not. It is unknown. Some of the scholars said it is open. So everything in blood, everything in rada'ah, including that. Ita'at al-qurba, be good to them, help them. They're poor, give them. They need, help them. Whatever they want, lend them. Be good. Of course, according to your capacity. لا يكلف الله نفسا. Back to the rule. Those rules, they are all tied together at the end of the day. So, لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. I have family that most of them are poor, and I'm okay. I only can give like $100. So give that, but you're not responsible to give 200 because it is not in your ability, okay, or more. لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها. So إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى. إيتاء ذي القربى, any benefit that you can do to your qurba. Some other scholar, they said إيتاء ذي القربى. Listen to this, it's important, inshallah. Regardless of their action. Okay? Regardless of their action. And we have two examples of this from the seerah. A guy came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ya Rasulullah, innahu li qaraba. I have relatives. Asiluhum wa yaqta'uni. Okay? I go visit them, they don't visit me. I help them, they don't help me. I feed them, they don't feed me. I invite them, they don't invite me. The guy is hurt. The guy is hurt. Why is hurt? Two reasons, the scholar. By the way, the Sharh al-Hadith, there's an imam, I forgot his name, long time ago, took this hadith and made a book. There's a complete book explaining this hadith and all the ramifications and all the aspects of this hadith. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, faddal alayhi, and I read that book. So in this, those scholars, what they understand is that this guy is hurt because he is doing so much for them. But also, he are not supposed to be hurt, according to the scholar who they wrote about this. Why? Because if you set your intention to please Allah and Allah only, we already said a little bit earlier about being sincere to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in any action, that you look for the benefit only from Allah. I am not helping you for you to help me in the future. I'm helping you and I'm hoping for the reward from Allah. Whether you acknowledge that help or you do not, I don't care. And on top of it, I don't look forward to it. I am not helping you, and I am not looking forward for you to pay me back or to help me back, because I'm looking only toward Allah. If this guy only is doing what he's doing to his relatives for the sake of Allah, so why is he hurt? The other scholars say it's a human nature. It's a human nature. I am not asking you to thank me. I am not asking you to help me. But also at the same time, I'm not asking you to cuss me or to put me down or to degrade me. Yani ya akhi, I did you good, just leave me alone. But to come back and hurt me, that's not right. So here is, we said our nature will take over, because we don't like that. This is not within our fitrah. This is not within our instinct. Okay? Wallahu a'lam. But here's what the Prophet ﷺ said. He said, Ya Rasulullah, and also there are so many psychological study to this. There's so much, Sister Nashab inshallah will study, there are too many psychological and side issue, from human behavior onto that one. But anyway, so I do that to them and they are not. They're not appreciating, they're not treating me back right, they're not. The Prophet ﷺ said, if what you said is true, كأنما تصفهم المل. Al-mel is the ashes. تصفهم, that you fill their mouth with the ashes. Okay? If what you're saying is true, as if that you are feeding them and packing their mouth with those ashes. Why? Because that's not a good act. That's not a good behavior. That's not the behavior of the Muslim. The behavior of the Muslim is that the Muslim is appreciative. Okay? And the Prophet ﷺ said, you know, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will keep protecting you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be with you. As if, according to this scholar, as if that the Prophet ﷺ is trying in an indirect way to set the intention of this guy back in the right track. That put yourself with Allah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will be your protector. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will increase you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will support you. Refocus on Allah and on Allah only. Okay? So this is one of the examples. The second example is, which is in Surah An-Nur, when you know Hadith al-Ifk took place and people start talking about Aisha radiallahu anha. There's this guy Mustah. Mustah was a guy who was very poor, and Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu was giving him salary on a monthly basis to live on. Mustah was one of the guys who was incorporated with this story, and he is the one who spread this rumor in a way, talk about it, and he's the one who, you know, who publicized it, you know, kept going, talking, chit-chatting to others. So when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu knew that, he became mad. I'm doing you a favor, and now you're coming back and hurting me, hurting my daughter, you know. So Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, Wallahi, I'm going to stop giving him the money, I'm going to stop the salary. Jibreel alayhi salam came down, وَلَا يَأْتَ لِأُولُو الْفَضْلِ بِنْكُمْ وَالسَّعَةِ أَنْ يُؤْتُوا أُولِي الْقُرْبَى وَالْمَسَاكِينَ. So, أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. So when Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu, when Jibreel alayhi salam came down, that those people who they were helping, don't let them stop. You know, let them forgive. Because if you really want Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive you, أَلَا تُحِبُّونَ أَنْ يَغْفِرَ اللَّهُ لَكُمْ. Don't you like Allah to forgive you for your mistake? When Abu Bakr radiallahu anhu said, when he heard the ayah, he said, Bala ya Rab, I love for you to forgive me. And he went back and he was giving Mustah, whatever he started giving him, and kept helping him. So, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ بِالْعَدْلِ وَالْإِحْسَانِ وَإِيتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. Those three major things, the scholars said, look, in fiqh al-mu'amalat, all of it. What do you see? Al-adl wal-musawa wa ita'i dhil qurba. Ita'i dhil qurba, you know, nikah, talaq, zawaj, relative, birrul walidain, all of these are fiqh al-mu'amalat. All the mu'amalat that you could do with the relatives, starting from your family, to your wife, to her folks, to your children, grandchildren, and whatever you have. All of this is part of fiqh al-mu'amalat. Mawarith, you know, inheritance is to my children and to my parents and so on. It's part of it. So all of it, وَإِتَاءِ ذِي الْقُرْبَى. And also, al-adl musawa, buying and selling. And everything you do, adl, musawa. Okay, musawa, not to be discriminatory person. Do not discriminate. Do not. Also, musawa is to give the fair chance for all people. You do not discriminate. So those three things, the scholar said, there is nothing that you could think of that they do not cover. They cover all aspects of life. Whatever you do in life, have being just and fair, proper equality, and be good to the relatives. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى. As he ordered this, ينهى. بسم الله. The scholar stopped here. Al-Imam al-Qirafi rahimahullah, he was one of the major scholar, and he had made so many books. It's one of the most difficult books you can read in the Sharia is for Al-Imam al-Qirafi. And one of the books that is very difficult, you need a teacher to read it, is Kitab al-Furuq. So anyway, Al-Imam al-Qirafi rahimahullah said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يَأْمُرُ وَيَنْهَى. What is the difference between يَأْمُرُ and يَنْهَى? He said, you could go very simple by saying he is يأمر with the good things and ينهى on the bad things. Right? From the ayah. But even though يأمر in the good things, ينهى about the bad thing, but يأمر and ينهى have the same power. Never forget this. This is the important. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ينهى, He is يأمر. يأمر بالنهي. Power-wise is the same thing. Okay? That's why ينهى is the haram. يأمر بالصلاة. But if you do not do the salah, you have made haram. You see? So يأمر and ينهى, even though they are one described for what to order, and the other for what to prevent, but both of them have the same power. That's all what we need to know from that point now. Even though the scholar, they have given different tactics, but we don't need it. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala prevent us, ينهى عن الفحشاء. What is al-fahsha? The indecency, the bad thing, whatever you want to call it, whatever your interpretation you have. Al-fahsha, al-fuhsh. Fuhsh is no good, indecent, it's uncouth, it is not right, it is not customary, it is in violation of our habits, violation of our deen, violation of our tradition, violation of our moral value. Fahsha, fuhsh, fuhsh, something you do not like by nature. Okay? By nature, you don't like. Yourself, the way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created you, فِطْرَةَ اللَّهِ الَّتِي فَطَرَ النَّاسَ عَلَيْهَا, whoever you are, Muslim or non-Muslim, al-fuhsh, the non-Muslim knows it, they know it, as the Muslim know it. Al-fuhsh is against al-fitra, against the traditional thing, against the proper things. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started with al-fuhsh is general, big. Al-munkar is more specified. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala started with the general and He went secondly the specified. Al-fuhsh is no good, uncouth, not right. You don't accept it. It's against your nature, against your tradition, against your habitual things, against what people know, against al-urf, the customary thing. وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر. المنكر is from the word تنكره. Somebody steals, that's not what people agree on. People agree on buying and selling. Somebody come and snatch something and steal it, that's munkar. Okay? Somebody does, have a relationship with a girl, that's munkar. The proper way is for you to get married, and so on. Al-munkar ما أنكرته الشريعة. الفحش ما فحشته الشريعة. That's another one. Al-Imam الإمام الشاطبي رحمه الله have said this is الفحش ما فحشت يعني whatever the Sharia made it فاحش والمنكر ما أنكرته الشريعة. That's on the highest level. And then we go down to the nature, to the customs, to the urf, to whatever you want. Okay? So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر and والبغي, transgression against the right of people. You cannot. طيب والبغي, البغي on what? He didn't say. There is a rule in the language. They said whenever there is something vague, المبهم يفيد العموم. المبهم يفيد العموم. ينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. طيب بغي on what? I can buggy physically, I go kill somebody. I can make buggy, I could go and steal from somebody financially. I could make buggy, I could cuss and chastise person and hurt him emotionally. You see, buggy on what? Is it physical buggy, financial buggy, emotional buggy? What kind of buggy? When he did not specify, that means it contains all of this. إذا أبهم عمم. تمام؟ Okay. وإذا سأل ولم يجب فقد عمم. Another rule from the language. Okay. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. Now tell me, is there anything left? Is there anything bad that you could think of or anybody can do that is not on those three categories? Scholar said no. You will never think. Make up your mind. Think all what you can. You will never find something bad. It is not contained in those three things. As the scholar said, there is nothing good you can think of. It will not be contained on the first three. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي. Three good contains every goodness, and three bad, they contain every bad they have. They said, the scholar, this ayah, one ayah, contain all fiqh al-mu'amalat. Fiqh al-mu'amalat, whether to do right or prevent you from doing wrong. If it contains everything, apply it to everything you do. Okay? So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said also, وَلَا يَجْرِمَنَّكُمْ شَنَآنُ قَوْمٍ عَلَىٰ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا اعْدِلُوا هُوَ أَقْرَبُ لِلتَّقْوَى. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, يَا أَيُّهَا الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا كُونُوا قَوَّامِينَ بِالْقِسْطِ شُهَدَاءَ لِلَّهِ وَلَوْ عَلَىٰ أَنفُسِكُمْ أو الوالدين والأقربين. Ayah 135 of Surah An-Nisa. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has ordered you. This is the Sharia. Okay? So, this is fiqh al-mu'amalat. Any kind of dealing and wheeling, it has to be within fiqh al-mu'amalat. Writing contracts, it is in fiqh al-mu'amalat. But now, how to write a contract, let me go specific onto this. I have only one thing, not only one thing, but something important to say. I'm not going to go with all the article that will need to be incorporated in the contract, but I'm going to make the major one that people are always neglecting. Okay? You need to write everything in the contract. Anything you agree on, you need to write it in the contract. Any possibilities might happen, you need to write it in the contract. The other major thing is you need to dissolve that contract before you sign it. Okay? You need to dissolve it. For example, we're making a company together. We're making a work together. Everything is beautiful. Before you sign it, ask your partner, Akhi, if we want to go our separate way, how we're going to dissolve this? You write it down. So when you sign the contract, you sign both. You sign how to incorporate and then how to dissolve. You see, it has to be. There's no two people will be together forever. There is no two people will be together forever. They will be either separated in dunya or death will separate between them. So we need to know, because whatever we do, there's the right of the heirs. You know, we have a contract together. But if I die, I have heirs. They may not want to go with you. They do not want to continue. So there are rights has to be distributed. You know, everybody has to take his share. So we need to solve it. Most people, many of the problems that I face with others, with the brothers who they call me and they ask me for help, the problem is they do not put rules how to dissolve their agreement or their partnership or whatever they do. Please do that. This is what I need to say about fiqh al-mu'amala. Also, there are people, most of the problem that I am facing with contracts, they made it very brief. They do not all the possibilities that might happen. So when of those possibilities come into play, they have the problem. I thought this is the way it's going to be, and the other guy said, I thought this is the way it's going to be. No. Why didn't you write it down? Because you didn't write it down, you left those open ends. Okay? I hire a lot of people, Muslim people, to do work for me. Akhi, how much do you want for this? Akhi, no problem. You're my brother and I love you. I see you in the masjid all the time. MashaAllah, you're this, you're that. This is one of the biggest problems. Do you know why? Because he see me in the masjid, I'm a good guy. He expects me to pay him more. And because he's the brother, I hired him from the masjid, I expect him to charge me less. So here's we have a problem. We get done, the job worth $50, give him $50, he's upset. Because his expectation was more. Now he is not realistic anymore. He is living by his expectation. Okay? And then when I gave him what's due to him, I violated his expectation, he's upset. Okay? And now, vice versa, if I gave him 50, I was expecting for him to charge me 40. But I saw him, he is unhappy, so I gave him back the 50. I am upset. So none of us is happy. Okay? And this is the problem with the Muslims. How much do you need for this one? Say it. Have a contract. You get done. You get what we agreed on. Leave the expectation out. Okay? This is another problem that we're dealing with in our community. Okay. So, any question? تفضلي.
Okay, is there such a thing as adab and mu'amalat? Adab, like how do we conduct the mu'amala itself? For example, the situation you described now is the idea. I think part of the problem is we're not straight with each other. We're not. I'm trying to do mugamala for you, and I'm, maybe have interest. So I'm not straight with you. If I have a price tag, I do this job, this is how much I charge. So we're not straight. So is that something from the Sunnah to show us that we have to be straight with each other when we are talking to each other? Without, that doesn't mean I disrespect you. That means that I'm just telling you what my price is, straightforward.
Is that statement or a question?
It's the statement plus question. Is there evidence from the Sunnah?
I'll take it as statement.
No, please take it as a question and give me the evidence.
Any question?
I want evidence, please.
Say what?
Evidence, دليل من السنة about this situation, this item of being straightforward with each other.
The reason, the reason, شلوها؟
حد جه يبيض لك البيت وعلشان انت عارفه فما بيقولكش كام، يقول لك انت اخويا وانت حبيبي وانا هعمل لك وانا هعمل لك، وبعد ما يخلص ايه ده كنت متوقع كذا. هي سؤالها هل في حديث او آية بتقول المفروض ان انتوا تبقوا متفقين عشان في النهاية ما حدش يزعل؟
نعم.
حديث او آية، هي بس عايزة reference.
The reason I want this one to slide, because I don't want to open the door. If you open the door, there's going to be too many things. Okay, let's open some of the door. If I ask you to do something and you told me this is what you want, okay, that doesn't mean that I need to agree.
Exactly.
Number one. Number two, it doesn't mean that I cannot negotiate. Also, it doesn't mean that I'm insulting you if I told you your price is too much and the job worth that much. It is not. So see how many doors we're going to open. We're going to open so many doors. Somebody, if he tells me that this is cost $10, I'm going to be upset. Because I know it doesn't worth $10. So are you making me stupid? You think I don't understand? You're trying to play games with me? I can take it negative way, so that will open some kind of heartache. The other thing is, I could be very polite. I don't take it that way. I'm going to say, brother, this costs only $2. Now he's, in turn, he's going to be upset. Okay? So what I'm saying is, when you put your price, that doesn't mean we need to educate ourselves. I'm not going to hurt. And when I make a counter offer for you, you're not supposed to be hurt. Okay? Okay, so we could back and forth to do that. And then also, we could agree on the price. But the problem does not come from the price. The problem comes from the quality of and the accuracy of the work. That's one. Another item is, the problem could come back from the expectation of the work. Like, for example, I hired the guy to do for me a countertop. He wants $300. No problem. I'll give you $300. He done it. His finishing is lousy. His finishing to the job is lousy. I am not happy. He does not have a clean finish. He left loose ends. He left all the dirt. I'm telling you from real life. A guy came to work to me and he left all pie crap right there. It's going to cost me $50 to haul it away. You know, this is part of the job. No, it's not my part of the job. I only fix the kitchen. I don't take the other cabinets and throw them away. So who's going to take that trash? You hire somebody else. You know? The funny thing, I hired the guy to put a sink for me. Here's a kitchen sink. You see it? I'm giving you to see the open doors that I'm talking about. He put the sink and he put all the caulking around it, beautiful. Put the faucet. No, I'm not a plumber. I don't put the faucet. I didn't hire you just to put the sink. No, I put the sink. I don't put the faucet. I do not do the plumbing down there. It's not my job. Subhanallah. Now I have to go hire a plumber? No. So what I'm saying is, we could agree on the price. We do not agree on the quality. We don't agree on the expectation of the job. Okay? And it could be vice versa. Somebody, we agree on $300, he does a wonderful job. And he knows he done a wonderful job, and I know it. I pay him $300, he's pissed off. I did for you an extra work. I did it beautifully, and you like it. You should have paid me more. That's not what... You're supposed to make it right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, that's not me. If you want a story, the Prophet ﷺ, coming back from Ghazwa, And the Prophet ﷺ, look at those stories I love. Because it tells me who the Prophet is. In order for me to love the Prophet, those stories will tell me what the Prophet is. Usually the leader or the big guy, he will be in the front of the army, and everybody will be following him. Our Prophet ﷺ used to be at the end of the army. He was the last one of the army. Somebody sick, he will help him. Somebody left something behind, he'll pick it up. He watched away the end of the army, the back of the army. He'll always behind there for protection, to see, for the safety, for any affair can come. The Prophet ﷺ is back there. He is in control. He is watching everybody. Everybody is ahead of him. Everybody is going home. So everybody is okay. So as the Prophet ﷺ is walking, here's Jabir radiallahu anhu. He's at the last one, sitting down on the ground. The Prophet ﷺ said, Ya Jabir, what's wrong? He said, Ya Rasulullah, this naqa is not good. The camel is not good. It's an old camel. But this is the only thing we have. And I'm a poor guy. We don't have much. Then, did you nudge it? He said, Ya Rasulullah, I beat it up. I nudged it. I did this. I did that. Nothing happened to it. He said, where's your stick? He said, got my stick. So the Prophet ﷺ took the stick. And Jabir in the hadith of the Bukhari radiallahu anhu said, he had hit in one of the report. It doesn't mean hit that mean torture. No. It mean hit, knock it like that. Or another report said that he nudged, nagazahu. Okay? And he made some barakah, he was making dua. So the camel jumped up. Okay? And Jabir said in the hadith, بِبَرَكَةِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So then they start riding. Both of them, they are riding. And Jabir said, I am holding Hutam al-Jamal because I don't want to be ahead of the Prophet. He became so powerful. He was going to be ahead of the Prophet sallallahu. He held it. And then the Prophet sallallahu was talking to him, trying to be nice. And then Jabir was, we don't know, but different writer of the Sunnah, of the Seerah, they gave different glimpse and background and psychological effect and whatever. So maybe Jabir radiallahu anhu was hurt because his father had left, one of the reports says 9 daughters. And he had left debt, thousands of dirham debt on him. And he made istishhad in Ghazwat Uhud. And his father is Kalimullah. Remember that. He's like Musa alayhi salam. So anyway, Jabir radiallahu anhu was talking to the Prophet ﷺ about his problem. That my father died in Uhud and he left 9 daughters and I'm trying to take care of them and he has so much debt and he had that and he had that. We're not going to go into what the scholar have trying to indicate, like, inside Jabir, what does he want? Forget all those comments. But this is what happened. Let's stick to the story. So the Prophet ﷺ was trying to help. But anyway, he was trying to help and to leave Jabir with dignity and respect. He said, Ya Jabir, would you sell me this camel? You already don't like him. Already he's too old. He's no good. Would you sell me that camel? He said, Ya Rasulullah, لَيْسَ لَنَا نَاضِحٌ غَيْرَهُ. Nadih is the Arabs used to have one camel. Doesn't matter whether it's old or sick or whatever, but at least let him perform one task. They take him in the morning, they fill water, they put it on him and they bring it back. Nadih is they bring the water. He will carry the water, After we get the water, let them tie him up and leave him alone. Done his job for the day. Alhamdulillah. So, and then bringing water from the well and this and that was the big job of the morning for any family in the Medina. If I sell this camel, how am I going to get the water from the well to the house? That will be a difficult thing. And so he said, sell me your camel. And then Jabir radiallahu anhu said, the Prophet said, he said, Huwa lak. Take it, Ya Rasulullah. He said, no. You see, sell me. And he said, you name the price. Jabir told the Prophet ﷺ, you name the price. And then the Prophet ﷺ said, I give you dirham. Ya Rasulullah, that you cheated me.
So he negotiated.
Bakhastani, you gave me a lot less than what it is. Then what do you want? So back and forth, back to the negotiate. Jabir, when he told him a dirham, the Prophet ﷺ was not hurt. Maybe I would be hurt if somebody told me that this phone, I'll give you $10 for it. I paid $700 for it. You give me $10 for it? I would be hurt. But Jabir did not. He said, Ya Rasulullah, was nice then. You could have paid me a lot less for it. You name it. And then Jabir radiallahu anhu, finally at the end of the story, and he said, it's like, I forgot the price, like uqiyya or something out of silver. It's too much. And the Prophet ﷺ told him, he said, and what you asked for, how many camels I can buy with it? You see, he told him. He paid him a dirham, he did not agree. When he asked, for uqiyya, and then the Prophet ﷺ told him, he said, in uqiyya, I can buy so many camels with that uqiyya. And then the Prophet ﷺ agreed. He want to give him that uqiyya. You see? So, and then they came back to the Medina. So Jabir, forget about the comments of all the people who write the story. Jabir radiallahu anhu immediately went to the masjid, tied the camel by the masjid, and went home walking. The Prophet ﷺ came and he saw the camel. So he called Bilal, where's Jabir? He said, Rasulullah went home. He said, take uqiyya and give it to him. Whatever they agreed on the price, take uqiyya and give it to him. So he took uqiyya and gave it, and before he went, the Prophet ﷺ said, and take the camel and give it to him. So Jabir took the uqiyya and then he took the camel. He said, I sold it to him. He said, take the camel. So the Prophet ﷺ was trying to help him with the debt of his father, to help him with the 9 daughters that the father had left, 9 sisters that he had left. So this hadith in fiqh al-mu'amalat, believe it or not, they used it. Okay? And our teacher, Jazakallah khair, have used this, and he itemized so many things. First of all, we can negotiate. We don't hurt. I can put the price that I feel, whatever I want. You could refuse it, no harm. No harm. No hard feeling. No animosity. Okay? And then when we get to agreement, on top of that one, if I decided to forfeit my right into that contract, I have the right. Like the Prophet ﷺ forfeit his right into that camel. Also another thing is, البيعان بالخيار ما لم يفترقا. When we agree, that's why Jabir radiallahu anhu immediately understand that we made an agreement. Okay, when we made an agreement, some action has to take place. You have either to give me the commodity, or I have to pay you some of the price, down payment. A lot of people, they call me up, they said, Ya akhi, do you have a house for rent? Yes, I do. They come and look at the house, we like it. Akhi, but my contract with the other house, other apartment, until the beginning of the month. Okay, today is the 3rd of the month, or maybe next month. I said, okay, they go. They didn't pay me money. They didn't take the key. They didn't churn the utility. They did not sign the lease. They didn't do nothing. Okay, so what am I going to do? Nothing. On the 20th of the month, I have a guy coming to me with the rent. He paid the deposit, he signed a contract, I gave it to him. The lady called me at the beginning of the month. Okay, I'm ready to come. Well, I rent the house. يخرب بيتك, who to rent the house? We have an agreement. What am I going to do? I'm going to go into the street. I'm going to live where? I'm going to live. يا ستي, according to the hadith, البيعان بالخيار ما لم يفترقا. افترقا on what? Did you make money? No. Did you sign the lease? No. Did I give you the key? No. You turned the utensil into your name? No. So, we have nothing. We have air, but nothing. You see? And most of the time, when I'm trying to be the good guy, and waiting for him at the beginning of the month, on the 28th of the month, she called me back. She said, I found another house which is better than you. Jazakallah khair. You know.
البيعان
في خيار ما لم يفترقا.
البيعان بالخيار ما لم يفترقا. It means the contract has to be consummated. The contract has to be done to it. You either pay down payment or you take possession. I sold you this for $2. Okay? You said, I agree. You either pay me the $2 and take the product. Or you said, brother, I do not have the $2. Give me the model now. So I gave you the commodity. Okay? Or you said, brother, I only have a dime right now. I'll make it as a down payment. I'll bring you the stuff tomorrow, the rest of it, and think, that's fine. That means the contract has been sealed, has been done, has been fulfilled. I cannot go back on it. I cannot resell this until tomorrow. Until you either bring me the rest of the money or you cancel your contract with me. And then now we have to put an agreement whether you lose the dime that you paid me as a down payment or I have to give it back to you. Either way. So this is what it means. Now.
But that's the example that you just gave us. Don't you supposed to be clear from the beginning if you did not put me the down payment, or if we don't have a lease agreement or anything, then anyone else will come, I'm going to rent the house for?
ما فهمت عليك تعي قربي ما
يعني
فهمت.
توضح كل اللي قلته للشخص اللي قدامك قبل ما يروح. له اخي انت رايح لا اعطيتني داون بيمنت ولا اخذت مني مفتاح ولا شيء، نحن ما صار بيناتنا شيء. يعني بدك تتمة الانهاء الموقف انك توضح له يكون فهمان انه هيك صاير.
Okay, that's good.
يعني انه حضرتك لازم تكون واضح، لازم هو اخذ كلامك ثقه، محمل الثقه، انه لانك انت حكيت لي خلص بعطيك اياه الشهر الجاي، اعتمد على كلامك، بس حضرتك لازم تكون مثلا واضح في الصوره امامه، انه ترى اذا اجاني غيرك لانه ما في شيء موثق بيني وبينك، انا راح اجل. صح ولا لا؟ مش لازم تكون يعني واضحه من الطرفين.
You're asking me to be clear. Why don't you ask the other person to be clear?
Maybe in their mind they are clear.
No, in their mind, she said, okay, I want it.
Yeah.
Okay? You want it, do something.
Don't you supposed to be the one who asked to do something? Okay,
Why me? Why me?
Because you have the upper hand.
You want the apartment. You are the one in need.
You have to have a room to rent your property.
Usually I will do what you said.
Oh, okay.
I do that. But also it is understood. And sometimes, believe it or not, and that happened to me, and Allah witness that I am not lying, that the person said, of course I know that. When I tell her, she will come back or he will come back and say, yeah, akhi, what are you thinking? This is the first time I'm renting an apartment? I know that. I know I have to bring you deposit, and I know. And you don't take my word. Do you think that I'm playing or this and that? I've heard all of us. I mean, I went through all of it. Alhamdulillah. And wallahi, I don't have hard feeling. Between me, I don't have hard feeling. Because I believe a rizq is from Allah. If whatever is assigned to me is going to come. Whatever is not assigned is not going to come. And then I do more than that. I do different than anybody else. Alhamdulillah. I mean, shut the camera off. If somebody paid me the deposit and come at the end of the month and said, Ya akhi, I don't want it, I said, here's your deposit. Yalla ma'a salami.
هذا الإحسان.
هذا إحسان. Anybody has a question? If not, we're going to go. Yalla.
بس بالشريعة not necessary to tell the rule for the other one. If they know that, like طالما هن في المكان وما حدا دفع، لا هو ما اعطاك deposit, that's mean you are both of you away of making this promise.
نعم.
الشريعة هيك. No need to take the rule. No, look, if you don't pay for me, I will not keep it for you. بالشريعة no need to tell him like this. He has to know that he has to pay this deposit and whatever. In Sharia, in rule, law. That's what I mean. Do not say that people are acting in not Sharia law or something.
Another thing is, there are in the book of al-fiqh different opinion of different madahib. We have a very strong fiqh issue in the book of al-fiqh called Madhab ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu. Madhab ibn Umar, many of the scholars in the books like, Al-Imam Malik, Imam so and so, Imam and so will say, Imam ibn Umar used to say that. Imam ibn Umar radiyallahu anhu, Abdullah ibn Umar, used to have another understanding. Since both of you mentioned that, I have to tell you the other point of view. Okay. You come to me, you said, I'm buying this for $1. I said, okay. You gave me the $1 and you took the bottle. Ibn Umar said, البيعان بالخيار ما لم يفترقا. Look at the wording. بالخيار ما لم يفترقا. He took the bottle and I took the $1. Half an hour later in the same session, the guy said, Akhi, give me back my $1, I changed my mind.
We did not leave the room.
According to Ibn Umar, this is part of the contract. As long as you did not leave, there still be on negotiation. He could go back and forth on it. Okay? That's why Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu in the book of Fiqh, they said, whenever he used to buy and trade or whatever, sell me this for $1, here's $1, he took the bottle and he will walk. He walks, he departs, he may come back, but the deal is done. So according to Ibn Umar radiallahu anhu, in order for the deal to be consummated and to be done, we have to fulfill the hadith by its entirety. ما لم يفترقا, so we have to make iftiraq. Okay? Other scholars said no, if we're done, you took the commodity and paid the $1, إلا التجارة تديرونها بينكم, تمام? خلاص, we're done. According to them, we're done. You took the product, I took my money, the deal is over. Okay? Al-Imam al-Shafi'i rahimahullah, he took another thing, he said, according to another hadith. You cannot come to somebody and says, how much is this? He said, $1. He said, here $1, he took it. According to Imam Shafi'i radiallahu anhu, this sale is not complete. At Imam al-Shafi'i, he said, بعني هذه $1. The seller said, بعتك هذه $1. تعطيتها. You have to say, بعني بعتك. It has to be in agreement. Verbally. Okay? So, if you just saw a sign, this is $1, you throw $1, you took it and you walked away, according to Imam Shafi'i, the deal is not right. No? سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله.